Has anyone else experienced glitches in reality? I think I either experienced one or I'm going insane. Working on spare computer because of bored. Needed an extra screw. Went into spare room to get one. The spare room is an old bedroom that nobody uses anymore, so it just became the catch-all for junk/spare electrical parts/etc. Instead of the usually aspiring fire hazard, the room was totally empty. Like the walls, doors, windows, switches, and outlets were all there but nothing else. Confused, I just backed out of the room and I think. Shut the door. Pretty sure I blacked out or blocked out whatever happened next, because the next thing I remember I'm just washing my hands in the bathroom. I basically froze up like a sim with a cancelled action before freaking out and checking the spare room again. Everything was still there. Exactly where I left it. No, I wasn't dreaming, because the computer I was working on was the same as I left it. Stuff around my house was adjusted/in different conditions than before I blacked out. I didn't pass out, I don't think, but it was daytime when I opened the door and night when I came to. What do a nonce? Pick unrelated, because I have no idea what image I could post that fits. Let me tell you about the Longman of Tawakoni, Anon. Always visit grandma and parents at least once a month. They live out in Lake Tawakoni in East Texas. Bumfuck middle of nowhere, pastures and lakes. Lakes are filling up real good this year, by the way, almost 6 feet above average. Me, brother, his girl go camping because tired of family shit. The equivalent of staking a tent in the middle of a barren ass field because we ain't got no woods out here, son. We all get drunk off our ass and pass out. Wake up early with a hangover. It's about 4:30, going off my phone. Leave tent to go take a piss. See man walking across the field. No biggie, probably just a hunter. It stops when it sees me. Gives me this really weird ass wave as if its entire arm was stiff. Wave back. Guy keeps standing there. Waving. Crawl back into tent and wake my brother up. Couldn't have been in the tent more than 10 seconds, since all I did was give a boot to his side. Step back outside. This motherfucker cleared 600 yards in 10 seconds. Standing and waving that stiff ass arm. Chill runs down my back. Hair stands up on end. Know from previous experience that this shit ain't good. Tell brother to grab his gun. That woke his ass up. He comes out with his rifle. Tell him to aim it at that thing. Thing stops waving. Tell his girlfriend to get into the truck. Both are still shit-faced and hungover, but oblige. Take the rifle and keep it trained on that thing. Its fucking arms unfold. The reason its arms were so stiff in waving is because it was waving them like a retard with its arms bent up to its shoulder. Motherfucker had like 6-foot long arms. He stopped slouching. Easily 8 feet tall. Going off a distance of 450 yards. The most banshee-like screech I've ever heard, mixed with a guttural roar, emits from the thing. Its jaw distends to the point that it's where its collarbone should be. Pot shot it. Thing lanks onto all fours and hightails it away from us. We come back to the campsite later that afternoon with our shotgun filled with buckshot and the AR-15. Just in case, of course. Tent is shredded, all our food is gone. Track the garbage towards the swamp line. See a ripped apart muskrat hanging from a tree. We both decided to call it quits and just get the fuck out of there. I can't even properly describe the thing we saw. It looked like a fucking bat human with how disproportionate its arms and legs were. Like fucking seriously, the being unfolded his arms like a praying mantis and each of its fingers were nearly a foot long. My brother thinks it was a chupacabra, but I'm pretty sure it was some kind of skinwalker. This one is an urban legend me and my friends used to listen when we were little. Old woman has fruit garden. She lives by herself, husband died a couple years back, sons are in another city. She lives beside mountain range. She starts calling the police because aliens come down from the mountain and start eating her fruit. Multiple times, every time the police arrives, nothing to be found. Fuck it, she's crazy, ignore her. One night, screaming and noises from her backyard. Neighbors get weirded out. Go to her house, go around the house into her garden. There they found the old lady standing. Big stick in hand. Literally trying to kill what is described as a weird combination between a praying mantis the size of a big cat and a rat. Nope.jpg. Everyone gets the fuck out, old woman dragged by force. Police called, then again, nothing to be found, but this time there are multiple witnesses. Spend rest of the night in the front yard to see if they catch anything. Old lady doesn't stop saying I told you and laughing. Be me. Bored at 3 a.m. Friend messages me to go explore an abandoned building once a part of the local paper mill. Say yes because I'm a stupid teenager. Crawl in under a poorly boarded up doorway. Place is full of left behind paper mill stuff and shit from the main building dumped here. Walk around with friend exploring and seeing all the cool shit. Stairs going up to the third floor are too rotted to make an attempt, so we stay grounded. Keep walking around seeing if we can find anything left behind we could steal or sell without suspicion. After about 20 minutes we shine our flashlights up the stairwell. See just more shit that was probably dumped before the place was left. Explore for another 10 minutes. Hear a very loud scream and wet crack from the third floor. Friend and I stare at each other. We fucking bolt and look back after reaching outside. See one of the upper windows is now unblocked. See something shining down at us, pic related. I got hired at the wedding hall. The rest of the plant turned into a few years later and snapped a pic on my first shift. Be driving home from a late shift at work. Moon is out, still a very dark night. Live roughly 30 miles outside of town with my cousin. Driving along the interstate for some of the trip, take my turn and start the last part of the drive. 12 miles of dirt road that leads back into the woods. Only have 2 neighbors who live right next to the road I am on. No one for 12 miles. I am about halfway home when I come around a bend, going maybe 35, and I see some bright object crossing the road. Swerve just enough to avoid hitting it. Have no idea what it was. Was very small. Replay making that turn and seeing the object a couple of times in my head. Get curious, and turn around. Come around the corner and see the object resting on the opposite side of the road, totally still. It's a toy. I get out and approach the toy. The forest is totally dark and totally quiet. Still about 5 miles from home. 7 miles from the main road and nearest neighbor. It is a plastic toy train, just the engine portion of a train. I play with the wheels and wonder how it got out here. Turn the toy over and see a dial. Give it twist. It's a wind-up toy. Remember that this was rolling across the street. I drop the toy and begin to walk backwards to my car. Too scared to turn around. Ass bumps into the door. The door rocks, bumps into something and then settles. Something is blocking the door. Before I can turn around to investigate, hear something year off down the road. Plodding like it's on all fours. Turn and see nothing. Get in my car and haul ass home. Never saw that toy again. My cousin believes me cause he sees weird shit too. So you're with your honey and you're making out. When the phone rings, you answer it and the voice is, "What are you doing with my daughter?" You tell her girl and she say, "My dad is dead." Then who was phone?